If you want to lose weight, how do we do it? What is the weight loss targets based on your body fat percentages, and why do we do it like this? So the reason this comes about is if I'm trying to get stage lean, I want to be somewhere between 4 to 7% body fat as a natural bodybuilder. So if I want to stand on stage and do a bodybuilding competition, we want to be lean enough so the judges can see the muscle that we've built. And that means getting between like 4 to 7% body fat. And if that's our goal, we kind of need to know the rate of loss we're looking for, because a few things come into play when it comes to why we slow it down. So the amount of weight you want to lose each week will vary depending on your body fat percentage. We want to aim for an average of 0.5 kilos or 1 pound per week. And this is the average that I will tell everyone who comes to me. The reason we do this is because to lose half a kilo a week, or like 0.45 kilos or a pound a week, but you want to be in a 500 calorie deficit per day, 3,500 calorie deficit over the week. That 3,500 calorie deficit over the week, for a lot of people, can be quite hard to get to, but that is going to be like the bare minimum that we want to try and hit. So we're going to try and hit 0.5 kilos per week. But as you get leaner, we want to slow it down, okay? The reason is, we'll go through the step-by-step process, but the reason we want to slow it down is because when you have a lot of body fat on your body knows that you've got a lot of energy available, which means that when I train and when I do things, my body can easily tap into those energy sources. So they can look at my body fat percentages and be like, right, we haven't had enough calories today, so we're in a calorie deficit. I need to get the calories from somewhere and get the energy from somewhere. I'm going to go and get it from the body fat stores that we've got. So when I'm a high body fat percentage, trying to lose weight and losing weight quicker and losing a lot of weight per week isn't necessarily a problem, because it means that I've got all this stores available, so I can just take from there. As we get leaner and leaner and leaner, and we have less and less body fat stores, our body still needs the energy to come from somewhere. The risk is that when we're in a calorie deficit, it's not a pro muscle building state. It's not a state which is telling our body, build loads of muscle, we've got loads of energy available. It's a state which is basically telling us that we're trying to lose weight, we're at risk of calories right now, we need to conserve energy. Building muscle is quite an intense, or an energy, it costs a lot of energy to do that. As we get less and less body fat, and we're getting leaner and leaner, our bodies can start to basically use protein as an energy source. This does become a problem when we get to essential levels of body fat. It makes sense that as you get towards those essential levels of body fat, we want to slow down the rate of weight loss. And we slow down the rate of weight loss because otherwise we go too quick, and we run the risk, because we could use protein for energy sources, we run the risk of our body basically tearing down protein. You have an anabolic state, which is a pro muscle building, and a catabolic state, which is basically stopping the muscle building process. I've spoken about it before, about the AMPK, which is when I do a lot of cardio and I do some say long endurance work, that sends a signal to my body that we don't want to build muscle, we want to conserve energy, which is why doing high intensity cardio, trying to get lean, is probably not a good idea. Getting lean, toning up, is about losing body fat and building muscle, or at least maintaining the muscle mass that we have. So we just want to put ourselves in the best position to maintain as much muscle as possible. And this is how we do it. If you are 25% plus body fat for men, or 35% body fat for women, you can afford a faster rate of weight loss. So this is somewhere between 1 to 1.5 kilos per week. Myself right now is probably between 17 to 20% body fat. That's around roughly where I feel like I am right now. There are multiple ways you can measure your body fat percentage. We're not going to go into that today. We'll go into that in a different one. But just know that if you are 25% body fat, 35% for women, you can afford a faster rate of loss. If you're somewhere between 15 to 25% body fat for men, or 25 to 35% for women, you want to look for what we call a normal rate of loss. And a normal rate of loss is going to be 0.5 kilos to 1 kilo per week. If you are 10 to 15% body fat for men, 18 to 25 for women, you want to start to slow it down. And anything under 10% of body fat for men, or 18% for women, you want to slow right down. So the way that I look at this is basically, if you think of the top one, you can go pretty quick. Okay, so 25% body fat. You're looking at this point probably to be in the range of being overweight, if not obese. Yeah, 25% plus for men is classed as obese. Okay, your average is between 18 to 24%, fitness 14 to 17, and then your athletes 6 to 13%. And then we get to these essential levels of body fats. Like, we need this to stay alive, basically, essential levels of body fat. But this chart, this is what we use as our guide. This is the thing that we're going off of, basically. So that 25% plus body fat for men, 35% plus for women is when your class is obese, and this is where you can lose a lot quicker. The reason you can lose quicker when you have a lot of body fat on you is because you technically, even though you'll be in a calorie deficit, which means you'll be losing weight, your body has a lot of energy available. So you're not at risk of losing muscle at this point, because it's almost as if your body is just going, well, I've got this other energy source over here. If you think about the food that you eat some carbs. They're like, if your body's like a hybrid car, for example, your carbs are going to be the fuel source that it uses first. It's going to be your electricity. And then when we run out of carbs, we're going to go to our other fuel source, which is going to be our petrol. That's the way it's going to work, or the other way around, whichever way you want to think about it. So when you have a lot of body fat available, you've got a lot of energy. That's fine. When you come down into the normal ranges, you can still probably at this point lose up to a kilo a week. Between 15 to 25% body fat, losing a kilo a week is not a problem. Dropping below 15% of body fat, this is where I would slow you down to half a kilo. And then less than 10% body fat for men, again, we're going down to 0.25. In it says 0.1 to 0.25, but that can be quite unrealistic, because unless you're like super dialed with your nutrition, and like for a lot of my clients, we're not. They are everyday people just wanting to lose a bit of weight. But if you are someone who's trying to get ready for a photo shoot, you're going on holiday, and it is really important that you are a certain body fat percentage, aiming for that 0.25 kilos per week slows it down. And the reason this is good, okay, and the reason we do this is because our training is also going to be super affected by the amount of food we're eating. So if we're in a really steep calorie deficit and we don't have a lot of energy available to us, we are going to struggle to perform as well in the gym. And if one of the things we're trying to do is maintain the amount of muscle that we need to be spiking muscle protein synthesis. And we spike muscle protein synthesis through training, that will spike it, and through eating protein. So having a high protein diet and strength training while losing weight is going to benefit us. If you're in a calorie deficit, for example, and you're not strength training, you're not eating a high protein diet, 50% of the weight you lose will be body fat, 50% will be muscle. If you strength train and you eat a high protein diet, 2 to 2.2 grams per kilo body weight and up, you will lose 80% of your weight from body fat and 20% from muscle. And that is kind of the way that we're going to run off of this next section. So this is how we work out, and this is how we figure out how we're going to get to our goal. I'm using me as an example here, so we can start to work out the process of figuring out your weight loss targets based upon how much you weigh and your body fat percentages. First step is to work out your lean body mass. So how much lean body mass do you have on you? Lean body mass is basically everything that is not fat mass. So this is your muscles, this is the water, this is your bones, this is everything that is not fat mass. The reason we want to work that out is because that is pretty much a stable number that we can work off of. That is the number that we are going to use to calculate everything, okay? So if I weigh 97 kilos and I'm 20% body fat, it means I have 19.4 kilos of body fat on my body, okay? Which means that my lean body mass, to figure that out, is 97 kilos, take away 19.4, which gives me 77.6 kilos. This is our constant. So your bones, your organs, your water, your muscle, we will use this number to help us calculate our different body fat percentages. That's step one, what's your lean body mass? Step two is at your target weights at different body fat levels, okay? So at 15% body fat, the way I'm going to work that out, if you think about my weight, I'm going to do 77.6, which is my lean body mass, and I'm going to times that by 0.85, because that is going to be that 15% body fat that I'm aiming for, okay? So if I do that calculation, it's going to give me 91.3 kilos. So for me to be 15% body fat, I need to be 91.3 kilos. To be 10% body fat, with my lean body mass being 77.6, I timed it by 0.9, which is going to give me 86.2. And for me to be at 8% body fat, I'm going to take that same lean body mass number, 77.6, and I'm going to times it by 0.92, which means that at 84 kilos, I will be around 8% body fat. Now, where does it get tricky? So we need to now figure out, once we know our target body fat, target weights at our certain body fat percentages, we now need to identify the amount of weight we'll aim to lose each week, okay? So at 20% body fat, I can lose 1 kilo per week based on our guidelines from the previous page. So when you look at these guidelines, because I'm 20% body fat, I fall within this range, so I can look to lose a kilo per week, okay? So from 97 kilos down to 91 kilos, I'm going to try and lose a kilo a week. To be in that deficit, it's like 7,000 calories for the week deficit, which is basically 1,000 calories per day that I would need to be in to get to that, to get down from 97 to 91. We're starting to build a picture how long it's going to take me to lose that weight. 97 kilos all the way down to 91 kilos. So that's 1 kilo per week. That's going to take me 6 weeks. From 91 to 85 kilos, I'm going to try to lose half a kilo a week. And that's because, again, if we remember, my body fat percentage to go from 20% to 15%, the weight I need to be at is 91 kilos. So from 97 to 91 takes me from 20% body fat to 15% body fat. That's going to be a kilo per week. For them, me to go from 15% body fat, that 91 kilos, down to 10% body fat, 86, we've gone a little bit further than that. We've gone down to 85, could be 0.5 kilos per week. So that's going to take me 12 weeks. How do I know that? Well, if I'm losing half a kilo per week, I basically times the weight that I'm going to lose by 2, and that gives me the amount of weeks that I'm going to get. For me then to go from 85 down to 84, and I'm going to aim to lose 0.25 kilos per week, that's an additional 4 weeks. And now this is where things get a slightly bit more complicated. I say complicated, it's not really complicated. That's based upon me losing 100% of the weight I lose coming from body fat. But like I said earlier, there's a chance that 20% of that will come from the lean body mass that I was talking about, which means I need to recalculate my lean body mass once I get down to that target body weight. And the reason is because I might not be actually at that 8% body fat, okay? So I would retest my body fat using any of the different methods, but then I can recalculate where I need to be if I was to be 8% body fat based upon the changes in lean body mass. So how does that work? So if 80% of the weight I can expect to lose is from body fat, lean body mass would simply recalculate and our new lean body mass at 84 kilos. If we expect to lose 80% of our weight from body fat, then lean body mass would simply need to be recalculated, and our new lean body mass should be calculated at 84 kilos. And we do that by going 13 kilos of total weight loss from 97 to 94 kilos, okay? So for me to work out the amount of lean body mass that I've lost, if 80% of that weight that I've lost is body fat, it means that 20% of that weight I've lost is going to be lean body mass, okay? So 13 kilos I've lost to get from 97 to 84. 80% of that weight is going to be from body fat. 20% is going to be from lean body mass. So I know I've lost 2.6 kilos of lean body mass. My old lean body mass was 77.6. I'm going to minus that by the 2.6 that I've lost, which means my new lean body mass is 75 kilos. And then we can get to our new estimated of 8% body fat by dividing our new number by 0.92. So our new lean body mass number, which is 75 kilos, divided by 0.92 gives me 81.5 kilos. So our target weight of 8% body fat will be somewhere between 81.5 kilos and 84 kilos. And now we can recalculate how long it's going to take us to get there by looking at 84 kilos all the way down to 81.5. Losing at 0.25 kilos per week means an additional 12 weeks. So overall, if I was looking to get down to 8% body fat, using those calculations, that 80% of the weight I'm going to lose is going to be from body fat and 20% from lean body mass, that's going to mean that it's not only going to take me the 6 weeks from 97 to 91, plus the 12 weeks from 91 to 85, plus the 4 weeks from 85 to 84. But if I'm going from 84 all the way down to 81.5, that's an additional 12 weeks, okay? So overall, I'm looking at losing, to get down to my weight and my body fat percentage of 80%, I'm looking for 34 weeks of weight loss. Again, we're somewhere between 81.5 kilos to be 8% body fat and 84 kilos. It's just good to know the calculations, because it means that if you are someone who's trying to get stage lean, you can use this as your guide to help you to know how long it's going to take you. Because when we step up to going, if we're trying to lose weight and we don't really have an end date, It doesn't matter how long it necessarily takes us, but if we're trying to step on stage, we kind of need to know what it looks like. I would rather get to 84 kilos a few weeks out and know that I've got time than being rushed to try and get on stage. Because again, if I'm trying to lose weight quicker and quicker and quicker in those last stages of the diet, I'm at more risk of losing lean body mass. And that is something that I want to try and avoid. Even though I could get to 84 kilos, which could potentially be my 8% body fat if all of the weight I lost was from body fat, and I could do that within 22 weeks, there is a chance that it could take me 34 if I lost some lean body mass on the way. And that's why we calculate the amount of weight loss based upon your body fat percentages. The start of the diet, basically, to sum everything up, to make things really easy and simple for those who don't really want to do that, but want some good advice, some like just kind of quick takeaways. At the start of the diet, go quicker, 1 kilo per week maximum. I wouldn't really go any quicker than that because the deficit will probably be too big. If you are really, really obese, it does not matter necessarily how quick you lose, because the healthiest thing for you is to get into a good body fat percentage range. So trying to lower your body fat as quick as possible isn't necessarily a bad idea. Just don't starve yourself, because again, we want to have some food available. We want to keep protein high, and we don't want you passing out on us. And there's no point going from loads of food to no food, because you don't necessarily need to. So you could lose a little bit more, but maximum 1 kilo per week at the start of a diet. The main bulk of the diet, we're going to aim for 0.5 kilos. And then when we're close to your ideal body weight, just slow down, 0.25 kilos per week. And that is how we figure out your weight loss targets based upon body fat percentage. Boom, have it. That could probably have been the bigger section on its own, not going to lie. Thank you so much for watching that video. That clip that you just watched is from one of our live streams. So every Sunday evening, we live stream, and we're trying to create a community of people to come and help each other, improve their mental health, learn a little bit about training. I struggled with my confidence for the longest time, and in this journey of going from a PT to creating a wellbeing company, we wanted to give you a space to come and feel safe enough to talk about what you're going through. So come and join us every Sunday. My name's Charlie. This is Hack the Body, Hack the Mind. We'll see you on the next one.